News of Bear's heroic actions spread fast, and people flocked to the island just to see him. His expresses were always full, and sometimes extra coaches had to be added. "It's not fair," fumed James. "I helped stop that accident just as much as Bear did, and he's given the express instead of me. What's he got that I don't?" "Well," said Duck cheekily, "would you like the full answer, or the short version?" James let off steam indignantly and fussed out of the shed. As the weeks went by, more and more passengers came just to see Bear. He admittedly found it all a bit overwhelming. "It's not that I don't appreciate the attention," he would tell the others, "but there's only so much I can handle." "Never mind," said Henry. "I'm sure it'll all die down soon." But one day, Bear arrived at the station to find an extra long rake of coaches waiting for him. "Goodness," he gasped, "I'll never manage that alone." The Fat Controller agreed and left to look for help. "Oh, thank you, sir. You won't be disappointed, I promise. Just get to the station, James." But James's confidence quickly waned when he saw just how many passengers were waiting at the platform. "We'll need a shoehorn to get them all in," exclaimed his driver. Indeed, it took a lot of work, but at last, the guard managed to fit everyone inside the coaches. Get a move on, puffed James. We're doing it, replied Bear, his engine growling louder than usual. The two engines were making excellent time as they approached Edward's station. They knew the hill lay just ahead and were worried of sticking. "Let's charge it," said Bear, and together the two engines began to accelerate. They were halfway up when suddenly Bear's engine faltered, spluttered, and stopped. "What's happened?" He coughed. The train now at a standstill. "Your engine's given out," sighed his driver. "No wonder, after how heavy your expresses have been lately." "Just perfect," grumbled James, an off-key chorus of complaints sounding from the coaches. They brought the train back to the station, where the crew sized up the situation. "We could wait for a banker," said James's driver, "but it'll be a while, and then we'll be late for sure." As they spoke, James pondered the problem. "No," he said at last, "we mustn't keep the passengers waiting. I'll handle the train myself. I may stick, but I've got to at least try." His crew was reluctant, but hesitantly agreed. "I just hope you know what you're doing," said the fireman. "So do I," said James, but only to himself. The fireman built up a good head of steam, and with his boiler full of determination, James slowly got the train underway. "You're doing well," called Bear from the front as they neared the hill. I mustn't stick, puffed James, feeling the weight of the coaches as he began his trek up the hill. His face turned as red as his paint and sparks shot from his funnel, but he didn't give up. "Keep going," encouraged Bear. "Nearly there." Poor James had no spare steam to reply. At last, with one final effort, James crested the hill, the train following behind. You've done it, cheered Bear. At the works station, the passengers flooded out of the coaches and gave James 3 cheers. Many of them even took his photograph as he shunted Bear into the works. Gordon had been fixed and asked to take the express the rest of the way. "Well done, James," he said, a hint of pride in his voice. "You've certainly proven yourself a really useful engine." James said nothing, but the smile on his face spoke volumes.